Hello, hello, Desiree Alvarez. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm doing so good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining me today.
I'm so excited to be up here with you.
Thank you. Okay, so the cool thing is we actually did a short little, what is it, a reel or whatever they call it on YouTube or Instagram somewhere. We did a short little thing at Squad Up.
We
And you
were
shared
there.
your three goals. Yes. And so, but the thing was, is like, I hadn't really totally developed the idea about the three goals. And so you were awesome enough to agree to join me and go through a little bit deeper on these three goals. But before we go with that, how did you get into real estate?
I like how you left a little cliffhanger for later.
Thank
That's
you.
really
I try.
enjoyable. Good job. I'm
I'm
proud of you.
trying.
Um, so how did I get into real estate? Well, I think the gateway drug is Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? So I heard about Rich Dad Poor Dad. My husband introduced it to me, and I was like, there's this whole other game board that people are playing life on, and I didn't even know it was there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Um, so got into that. At that time too, he was working like a corporate job that was just like stressing the whole family out, I would say. And so one day I just looked at him and I was like, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I can't be part of this anymore. And he was at his breaking point too, and he's like, "Oh, what should we do?" And I was like, "You should just quit. I'm just done." And he's like, "Well, what are we gonna do for money?"
Yeah.
And our idea of good time is going camping, being in the woods, having quality time, getting fresh air, all that stuff. And so I was like, we've been talking about going traveling and getting like a travel trailer and doing that. I was like, let's just go. And he's like, well, should we sell the house? What should we do? And at this time, it was 2021 ish. And so Airbnb was like hot, so hot. And so he quit. We took like 2 months. We lipstick to the house as best as we could. We got stuff in the backyard, put some fake grass in the backyard, got a couple beds, all the Airbnb things, and we put
Yeah.
that sucker on Airbnb and we left as
Nice.
fast as we could. It's kind of a funny story. We left so fast we left the front door open.
Oh, oh gosh. Wow.
We
Okay.
literally left the front door open, but we had this big trailer, and so trying to turn around, and navigating this brand new trailer, and we had a family member come close it, but we literally
Okay.
left the front door open. It was like, oh, you shut the door, right? Oh no, oh, one of the kids was the last one out. Oh my gosh. So
Oh,
it was fine, but it's
funny.
funny that we just left that fast.
Yeah.
Um, so we did that. We did that for 10 months. It did everything. I mean, we didn't make buku bucks, but it did everything we wanted to do. We didn't want to have to worry about the house payment. We
Yeah.
got a little bit of money in our pocket, and what we was the most important thing to us was to reconnect as a family
Yeah.
and spend really good quality time together. And so I was very grateful for the money that we did make because we got that. And I mean, that's just priceless, right?
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so are you now I'm curious. So you did the Airbnb thing for your primary. You said you did that about 10 months. Then what happened?
Then I got pregnant.
Oh, you guys did really reconnect.
We really reconnected. And we when we were in that trailer, we didn't stay at a lot of places.
Okay.
We were really dry camping. We were going and finding water and bringing it to our campsite, stuff like that. And so having running water or just being able to turn on a switch it was nice. I was like, I would really enjoy just like not worrying about my water consumption, stuff like that. I was feeling
Yeah.
really sick. I was just kind of like, I'm just like, I had a great time. I
Right.
enjoyed this. It was summertime. Things were slowing down anyways.
Yeah.
So we decided we were going to stay for the summer.
Yeah.
Because if we're paying the mortgage, we might as well have somebody there. And then we just kind of decided to stay.
Okay. Gotcha. So well, okay, I might be getting into goals. So what's your first goal?
My first goal. So, my first goal, I said that I wanted to become more comfortable with failure and to help spread that or help show that to my kids.
Yeah.
And so I've been really thinking about these goals since then because I feel like I was kind of put on the spot there, and I kind of wrote things down that felt right. And I do want to do those things, but like, really, why do I want to do those things?
Ooh, yeah.
And I think that an issue that I have is I'll just decide something's not going to happen before I even try, right?
Oh,
Like SquadUp Summit, for example. He brought up SquadUp Summit a bajillion times, and my immediate answer was, no, I can't do that. No, that's not for me. I can't spend the money. I can't be away from my kids. I can't take off work. Who's going to this? Who's going to that?
yeah.
All the excuses in the book. No. And then I really thought, why can't I?
Yeah.
And so I did, because I obviously went. But
Yes.
I think the failure thing is more like putting myself in uncomfortable situations, not saying that something's not going to work before I even try, and just kind of being excited to, some people are like, oh, I'm trying to get that yes when they're wholesaling or something.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to do is like get the no, because that makes me feel more excited, because then I'm accomplishing my goal, but I'm still developing the skills along the way to get to the end goal.
Yeah. That's a shift, right? Where you've been kind of coming from this place of fear of failure, and now you're trying to fail. That is a big switch. What made you think of that? Because you said like, why are these my goals? So I'm curious, like what prompted that?
What prompted the failure thing?
Yeah, like who would think of it? Like I don't know.
What was her name? Vienna
Tina?
Jetty? Yeah,
Yeah,
is that her name? I can't. It's
yeah.
not coming to me. She was talking about sharing like 30 things that she wanted her kids to do every day, and one of them was failing. And so I think that if I put myself in uncomfortable situations and I become more okay with failing, then my kids are going to see that in me. And then, maybe or hopefully they'll try for more things and not be afraid to not be able to do it or feel successful at it, but emphasize the skills along the way that they're building.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's awesome. I remember Vina talking about that, where she was saying that her kids have to share every day what they failed at. And I love that idea, because I think so many times from our childhood, we develop some of these fears, right? The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of betrayal. One of the coaches that I've spoken to over the last couple of years, she actually, there's a framework that she works with on what those different fears are: the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of betrayal, and how when you're in that mode where you feel the fear, you're not in your most powerful state. You're not feeling empowered and at your best. And so when you let that fear take over, now you're trying to compensate, the guard is up, all of these things are happening, and it's almost like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you're actually making it worse by the way that you're reacting to your fear. And I think the first thing that I got out of that was, when you start to feel that those things come on, when you start to feel the fear, take that step back, count to 10 if you need to, and go to that thinking part of yourself where, okay, why am I feeling this way? And start asking questions. Why is my heart rate going up? Why am I physically backing up, or even like trying to like hold myself, or whatever the thing may be? Start asking those questions, because now you're focusing on answering the question and not going into the emotions, and that can turn into anxiety and everything else. So that I've worked through that myself. Not so much the fear of failure, but the fear of rejection has been one for me, where I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling some things here. And
Yeah.
to embrace the failure part of it and push through the fear part, right? Like, I planned on this. It's not like something is happening to me. I am actually planning on going after this, because I need to learn how to fail. I need to learn how to navigate through this. I think just having that different perspective as you walk through that. Oh my gosh, that's going to be huge. Okay, so
And
how?
can I add one thing?
Yeah,
I
go
think
for it.
that also, I think it's good to like lean into the failure because you learn so much from it, right? Like,
Oh,
I jacked up all of these things, so now I know that those things can be messed up. So the next time I don't. But when I just say nope, that's not for me, if that's not going to work, then I don't learn anything
right.
or grow. So
That's true. That's true. And we all want to grow, hopefully, right? We all want to step outside of where we're at. That's one of the things I've heard now over the last year, especially, where it's like, how do you expect to grow if you don't ever put yourself under any kind of pressure, right? It's like a diamond. A diamond doesn't become a diamond by itself without, any issues. It becomes a diamond because of the pressure that's placed on it. And so, yes, 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 yes. Okay. So, what are the actions you're taking then to reach that goal?
Uh, so this kind of like goes in with my one of my other goals that I'm changing from our other video.
Ooh, okay.
But right now, like I feel like I'm good at talking to people. Like, I like talking to people and I enjoy like making friends with people.
Yeah.
But at SquadUp Summit, I was talking to a gentleman. His name is Keston.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "What are you here for?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm here for EMD, and I think I want to help somebody kind of organize their what they have going on." And he's like, "Well, have you offered to anybody?" Not. Oh my gosh!
That's a good
He's like,
question.
he was very nice. Yeah, he was so. I mean, he was so amazing, and he
Yeah.
just looked at me with this like calm and cool composure that just like made me feel so good,
Yeah.
and was like, "It's okay to offer your services to people."
Yeah.
And so I have been working through leads. I've been working on 25 leads a day, reaching out to 25 people, and being okay if they just like ghost me, or being okay if they're like, I don't need our lending services, or whatever it might be. But also, learning from that, how can I pitch differently? How
Ooh.
can I this differently? And so that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to do 125 leads a week. So I feel like it's
Nice.
sustainable. It takes about an hour.
Okay. All right. So you're committing some time to this every day. You've got your KPI, your number that you're shooting for each day, and in total for the week. And so how will you measure success? Is it like getting some of these deals, getting some no's? Like, what does that look like?
I think that's a good question. I think that I will know success when I don't feel quite as uncomfortable. Like there were some people literally yesterday I was gonna reach out to from SquadUp Summit that are like have a wholesale operation going, and
Yeah.
I was just like, these people are too cool for me to contact. They
Okay,
don't
you're
need
already
me,
making
right? So
the
I went to right to
decision.
the no. I was like, they don't
Right.
need me.
They
They
don't
have this
need
going on. They don't need me. So why should I even reach out to them? Because but I did. Like I really like sat down. I like got out my little doodly pad and I was like, why don't I want to reach out to these people? Well, because I think that they're more awesome than I am. And I think that they don't need my services because they already got something going on. But should I still not reach out to them? Should I just assume that they don't need me? No, I should still reach out. Did I reach
I
out to
don't
those
know.
people? No, I moved on to other ones and I'm saving
Yeah.
them for a later date. I'll get there.
You're gonna work your way up to that one, huh?
I'll work my way up. And I got my 25 people, so I was
Yes.
happy yesterday.
All right. All right. Yeah, that makes me think of something that Jill said where she was like, look, you don't know if you don't know unless you ask. Ask for what you want. And it seems so easy to say that, right? But when it comes right down to it, when you're feeling maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? Some fear of rejection. It's like, ooh, but what if?
I'm trying to take it as I think I've seen Alex Hormozy say he's talked about imposter syndrome, and it was like it's not imposter syndrome, it's just you're not good yet. Which
Oh,
I like that yet part because that
yes.
also ties into Jim Quick, how he says, don't say you're not good at something or you can't do something. It's, I'm
Yes.
not good at this yet. I don't feel comfortable with this yet.
Yes.
And so that's okay because, I mean, nobody or many people don't step out the door amazing at,
True.
at everything, right? So
Right. All right. Awesome. Okay, so what is your second goal then?
my second goal is to help others in the community so much
Mhm.
that it becomes part of my identity and part of I guess my measure of success for that. Not to jump ahead of you, but is that others when other people see me, I want them to know or feel or say that I'm a helper and I help them in some
Mm,
way.
wonderful. Okay, so then how did you come to this one?
I think I thought that it would help me get more involved, like deeper involved in the community, and
Mhm.
um I know like he's talks about the community all the time and it's like, oh, I know the community is great. I know when I go to a meetup, like everybody's nice, kind of a thing. But at Squad Up Summit, I felt it. Like I
Yes.
felt it. I was getting on a plane by myself. I don't travel by myself. I was very uncomfortable
Uh-oh.
thinking about getting on a plane by myself. I'm not a bit like a big. I'm not a world traveler.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Arizona.
Oh,
So I got there and I saw a group of like 10 people who were sub two. Some of those people were Donda and Jim, who are lovely.
oh,
And
yes.
Donda just like took me under her wing and she like
Mm,
gave me a seat on the planes and she came up to me later. I told you about this. She came up to me later and she's like, when are you flying home?
yeah.
She wanted to make sure that I had a ride or anything that I needed and I just really felt the love. I
Yeah.
would say. And so I want other people to uh, feel those warm and fuzzy feelings from me because I just like giving. But as a measure of that, and kind of like a couple road or stepping stones along the way, is
Mhm.
I feel like I really need to dig and see what I'm good at. Right, I'm new, and so it's kind of like,
Mhm.
what am I good at? I like to help people, but in what way can I help them? And so I think that my leads that I'm going through are also going to help me because even if my services are like what they're wanting, I still want to
Mhm.
help them in some other way. And so learning and figuring out how
Yeah.
to communicate with others to find out what their bottlenecks are, what their problems are, and maybe I can't solve that problem, but I can connect them to somebody else who
Yeah.
can. Or, I mean, even if it's a little thing like saving somebody a seat on a plane, I would
Yeah.
love to do that and help them.
Right. Right. Okay. So you said you're not sure what you're good at.
I'm still learning. I'm
Wait,
going through
how
that
new are
matured phase.
you? Like, you're not that new. You've been around a bit.
I question myself a lot, I
You got
think, and so
skills, girl.
I'm trying to work through these mindset things. I feel like I need therapy sometimes. But I'm trying to work through these
Yes.
things,
Okay.
and I I get overwhelmed with options, I think, and I'm like, oh.
Mm, yeah. There's lots of options. So okay. So you want to help others. Definitely the calls that you're doing, that's huge. Like, I think you've been in the connector Zooms, right? With Shane and Jesse a little bit.
I've been in some of them. It's at an
Yeah.
odd time for me. It's at an
Yeah.
odd time
Yeah.
after school for me. So
I So one of the things that I really like that they said, so Pace would always say, you know, and what do they need? And one thing that Jesse and Shane they kind of did a spin-off of that is not even necessarily like what do you have, what do you need, but what do you need to get you to that next step or that next level? And then you can determine if that's something that you can help with, right? So sometimes what do you need? That's kind of broad, right? I've had people ask me that, and it's like, gosh, I mean, professionally, personally, like, I don't know. Like, I need a lot of stuff. I just kind of go blank. So what do I need to get me to that next step, that next level? Okay, now I'm going to get super specific because now I'm thinking about the thing that I'm working on, the goal that I'm working on, right? So just that little bit of tweak that might help them be more specific in what they're telling you, and it might help you be able to see more clearly about how you can help them, right?
right.
Because now they're giving you something not as broad, hopefully, something more specific where you're like, ooh, I know somebody that has that or does that or whatever. And then you can help them that way, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think right now I've been offering like, you know, kind of like boots on the ground stuff for some people who
yeah.
are like out of state. I know I met somebody who had a couple Airbnbs here, but she didn't really know where they were. She didn't live here. So I was like, oh,
Mm,
if you need, boots on the ground, I live there. I know
yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. Things of that. And so yeah, I'm getting better. I'm gonna use that. I think that's a great idea because I know I need to work on my verbiage, but I've just been kind of okay right now because I'm
Yeah.
working. I know I'm working on it. So
Right, right. Yeah. That was something that was super helpful to me. I was just like, okay, now I'm not just asking the same question everybody else is asking too, right? Because a lot of people say, okay, what do you have? What do you need? This way it's like, ooh, let's get more intentional and specific. So I've tried using that when I remember it. Okay. So what is your third goal?
so my third goal, what that I set on already on the internet, was to become a proficient underwriter. And
Yes.
I think that that is a good thing. But at the time, I was really trying to connect people. And I think since then, I've kind of stepped away from that because I would like to gain some more experience and to, um, I don't want to put anybody else at risk. I watched that Pace Zoom about the connecting and I was like, oh, maybe I need to rethink this a little bit. I don't.
Yeah.
Um, so I still want to become a proficient underwriter.
Yeah.
For the Gators, we are going to get a underwriting from the lending perspective course come the summer.
Ooh.
And so I think instead of kind of spinning my wheels with the other underwriting course, I think that I would like that more because, and it would benefit me more because it's specific to what my area of the community is. So I've kind of put a pin in it.
Yeah.
And so instead I'm working on my EMD my EMD deal. Okay.
Right.
I'm cranking out these leads. I'm going to do my 125 a week. And I feel like that kind of helps everything, right? Like I'm trying to find ways to help other people and bring value to them when I contact them. I'm getting some no's and some ghosts and some, why are you talking to me? Responses. Stuff like that. So I feel like they all kind of connect, but I am trying to measure them separately. So if I get my EMD deal, that would be great. And if I fail, I still get a goal too.
Exactly. Yes. Awesome. Okay. So you're focusing on getting EMD deals
EMD or double close.
Or double close.
Transactional lending. I would say a transactional lending deal.
Okay. All right. Would this be your first?
Yes.
Okay.
I met my partner at SquadUp Summit, and so he has unlimited capital. I just need to bring the deal.
Okay.
So if anybody needs some earnest money, we are quick and we have enough money for you.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, because that was going to be my next question. I see your phone number there. Is that the best way people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, that's my cell phone number.
Okay. All right. So you'd prefer call or text over like Instagram or Facebook or those other?
Yes, because I feel like the DMs get buried. They're very out of sight, out of mind for me.
Yeah. All right. So everyone, you heard it. If you're looking for help, if you're looking for some transactional lending, reach out to Desiree and she'll be happy to have a conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. So we're going to circle back in 60 days and we're going to discuss your progress and next steps. I can't wait to hear about it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care.